Blog Talk Radio.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Voice of the People. It is Monday night, the day before Halloween, October 30th, and I'm here in the studio. It's the six-man Dean Geronimo, and I'm here with Mark Lee. Mark, tell me something good.
Hey, you know everything's going lovely. Everything's going lovely. I had a good old time here, checking things and just relaxing. I just got done with early voting, and so got that out of the way, and that was a good thing. So I definitely thoroughly enjoyed that, and so I'm glad to see what that transpires and how that goes, and what happens with that. So we'll find out who our candidate is, who is our next mayor, and a couple of city council people. That'll be a week from Halloween, so that'll be on the 7th. We'll find out all that, and so that'll be that evening, the evening of the 7th. We'll know who the winners are. And there'll be a lot of questions to be answered. So we'll find out about that. But, you know, I also noticed today that we had some major stuff going on in terms of that investigation that Mole has been doing. So apparently one person, George Papadopoulos, has gone ahead and admitted guilt on at least some charge, and he said he's going to be cooperating. And there's two more that are facing some charges as to whether they were agents of the Russians. So it's going to see how that all plays out. So that just came out today. So we're going to find out what that all means.
Wow.
So that's one of the things that's going on. And then I saw that over there in Catalina, they're trying to decide whether they're going to be independent of Spain or not, because there's a possibility that they may just decide to stay with Spain. But we'll find out about that in the world as well. But I know a lot was happening with you because you had your NAACP meeting, and I'm sure there was some other stuff breaking with that. So how was that?
Well, we had our 7th annual Freedom Fund Gala this past Saturday. The Honorable Gerald B. Lefcourt was our keynote speaker. He was one of the lawyers for the Chicago 8, for those who know their history, and for those who don't know, they may be able to Google it and find some good, interesting information. So I've had the honor this month of meeting Bobby Seale and one of his attorneys. It's been an interesting October, man. So I can't complain at all. Everything went well. You know, we were able to give our honorees their flowers while they are still here. And that's a big thing. So, you know, salute to the Southern Burlington County, New Jersey, NAACP. They did an outstanding job. So, and also, in other news, I see that for those who watch House of Cards, did you see that? It's being canceled. So unfortunately, those who love that series, and a couple of people had told me to watch it, but I really didn't pay attention to it. Now I'm just going to have to catch it on reruns, I guess. Because at this point, it has been canceled. So all those folks that, you know, loved that show, they were unable to keep it afloat. And that goes back from the accusations that he had with the young gentleman. I guess he's in his 40s now, because he said this happened a couple of decades ago, but Netflix wasn't having it. So they dropped House of Cards, and also Kevin Spacey has taken that opportunity to come out as a gay man. So it's been a little interesting in the news. You know, we'll see what happens from there.
Yeah, there's no doubt it's been very interesting what's been going on in the news and things of that nature. As a matter of fact, I was checking out where, you know, there's been several sexual harassment charges leveled against different people. Of course, we've been dealing with what's been going on in Hollywood with Harvey Weinstein, and then apparently there's been some other charges that have come out against some news people recently as to them having sexual harassment things going on. So, and I was just hearing where only 6 to 13% of those folks that are feeling like they have been the victims of that kind of stuff have actually filed a complaint. So, it's something that a lot of folks feel the stigma about and don't want to come out and deal with, but it's something that is impacting a lot of our industries, whether it's Hollywood, whether it's even the news industry, where we know that there's a lot of sexual objectification and things of that nature that goes on within that industry, where they expect the women to look a certain way and act a certain way and expected to even put up with a lot of things that they don't need to be tolerant of. And we've even had an incident like that right here locally because fears that one of our local campaign workers was accused of making some very derogatory remarks about some of the candidates that are out there trying to win some of these offices that I told you about. And there have been some newspaper articles about some of the things that have been said. And some people are even trying to play, the mental issue with whether this person has mental issues and things of that nature. So they've been trying to play the mental card. So, saying that this person has got mental issues and that's the reason that they're doing these things, and that's not cool either. I mean, I know we have people that are facing various kinds of mental illnesses and things of that nature, but I don't know that you can actually use that as a reason for the things that you do. I mean, we saw that even with the Trump campaign where he made some very derogatory remarks about women and then tried to play it off like, that's what boys do. So, whether it's using the mental card or whether it's using that's the way that boys do, I don't know that that's cool at all.
Not cool at all. I guess that's the new buzzword for any type of illogical behavior. Now everybody says it is mental illness. It devalues what mental illness really is. And some people have just, I would say, taken it too far, because at this point, when you do certain things, you need to be held accountable for certain things and not say, oh, well, I'm mentally ill or I suffer from mental illness. Because if you really suffered from such illness, you would be, you wouldn't be as free to just throw it out there. But unfortunately, that's what a lot of people are doing nowadays. It's like, you know what? They're mentally ill. No, they're not. They're just stupid. That's a big difference.
Exactly. You got some stupid folks out there. But we have somebody on the line that is not stupid. He's got a lot of insight and things to say and things of that nature. So we're about to bring him into the conversation. But before we bring him into the conversation, I do have to give a salute out. We did it when Dick Gregory passed. But there was another person of legendary proportion that passed away, I believe it was earlier today. But for those of you that follow the movement of people trying to do progressive things and trying to make sure that their people are represented, you may have heard of a group called the American Indian Movement, and that was led by, of course, Russell Means and another gentleman by the name of Dennis Banks. And Dennis Banks passed away today, but when it comes to folks trying to get the rights of the Native American community, he was definitely very active, and he did not pull any punches because AIM was very much involved in the Wounded Knee incident that happened, I believe, in the 70s, as well as a lot of the things that are going on, even including some of the efforts that have been taking place recently when folks have been trying to tread on Native American lands and try to take that property in order to make a profit and things of that nature with whatever they're trying to do, whether they're trying to make oil or things of that nature. But Dennis Banks is a legendary freedom fighter, so we definitely need to give much respect to this legendary freedom fighter that passed away recently.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. And for those who want to join the conversation, you can give us a call at 646-668-8393. It is the Voice of the People with Dean Geronimo and Mark Lee. Good evening, caller. I have you on the line. Let the world know who you may be.
Greetings. I am Ya'ai Asar Tafar. Amen. Are you able to hear me all right?
Yeah, we can hear you loud and clear. Y'all, how's it going?
Moving forward. Give thanks.
Oh,
Appreciate
good.
being on the program with y'all this evening.
Yeah, I appreciate having you here. Now, Dean, I was going to tell you a little bit about y'all. See, y'all I've known to be very much involved in the vegan community around here in this area, and he's been very much active in that community, trying to make sure that people understand that this is a lifestyle choice that is a very good and healthy choice for people to be involved with. He's had a restaurant in the past, and I understand he's in the process of trying to get another one going, but he's still doing catering. I actually saw him this past Saturday at an event that we had at the Hayti Heritage Center, where he was supplying and providing some of this great vegan food. I had some, and I definitely enjoyed it. It was very delicious, and definitely glad to get a taste of that fine food. But he has also written a book, and I think it's a book that you'll find interesting. It's a book called Your Self-Worth, Pseudo or Sincere. So, a lot of folks, they think that they have a certain kind of self-worth, but we don't know whether it's the real self-worth or whether it's just something that's pseudo and might be some fake self-worth. So I'm going to let Yah tell you a little bit about how he got into the vegan lifestyle, but also a little bit about that book because, like I said, I think it's about to come out in the near future. His wife has also written a book as well. Hers is actually dealing with healthy living when you're in the pregnant state for those women that are experiencing birth and things of that nature. And I don't remember the title of it, but I'm sure that Yah will tell me that as well. But as you can tell, he's a very positive brother. He's doing some very positive things. So we'll start off with the vegan lifestyle first, Yah, and then we'll get into the book. How did you get involved with deciding to go the vegan route in terms of your living style and things of that nature?
Well, I'll tell you, I was not setting out to be a vegan. I was actually in the natural foods industry by way of a college student needing a job and finding a job at Natural Foods Co-op while I was in Atlanta, Georgia, and I was a student at Clark Atlanta University. And that was in 1991, and that changed my life. And that really is worth mentioning was seeing a young lady who was the first person I saw walking around with a bag of nuts and berries in her purse as her choice of snack. So she knew I was looking for work. She pointed me in the direction of this natural food store, and really the rest is history. Every day I learned something else about why what I was eating was not the best, and I was learning about better options for eating. So I worked at this natural foods store for 6 years, and every time a customer came through the line, I had the opportunity to learn something new. So that really was the catalyst for changing how I ate. And I basically, the more I learned, the more I would stop eating this and look for alternatives, and then learn something about something else. And so I sort of phased meat and seafood and fish and dairy out as I learned more about it. And it was very, very, very difficult to let go of cheese because I put cheese on everything. But I got rid of that, and I was officially classified as a vegan in 1994. Now, I should also mention that it's not accurate to say I was a vegan then, because I came in through the eating portion of being a vegan. But there's also the humane piece that I didn't even get introduced to. I didn't even really process. I didn't consider the animal compassion part of it. I was still purchasing animal skin products because I didn't come in from that direction. And so aside from that, I like for people to tap into the whole foods, plant-based way of eating as opposed to the vegan way of eating. And for two reasons. One, the reason I just mentioned, which is that if you're a vegan, it's really a lifestyle commitment. And I wasn't committed to the lifestyle. I was committed to the eating part of the lifestyle. I wasn't aware of the other part. And the other thing is there's a stigma or stigmas attached to being a vegan. And there's this box that you're put in or you put yourself in as a vegan that I wasn't really interested or am no longer interested in folks executing. I'd rather you look at the eating part of it